You're right there, ladies and gents, how is it going? This one, it's a bit special, or it's a bit special for me at least. This video is taking you all the way to Italy, to Milan, to EICMA, the international motorcycle show of all motorcycle shows. Normally, me and my mate Matt, we head over to Motorcycle Live in Birmingham. He lives up in Chester, I live down south in the UK, so it's a good meeting point for us. But is it great? Is it a brilliant show? Is it brilliant value for money? Do we have a good time? Sometimes it's not what everyone wants out of a motorcycle show. What we normally do is we spend 2 days up in Birmingham, get a hotel, and we go out and get drunk, and we eat steaks and have a good giggle, and we poke motorcycles while having a few beers in the middle of all that. And it's fantastic. At least it's fantastic for us. Whereas EICMA, well, got to get on an aeroplane, don't you? It's bound to be more expensive. So yes, that's what we did. We worked out the prices, we threw some stuff together, and everything worked out. But is it good value for money? Is it better value to head over to the middle of Europe, or should we have stuck with the NEC in Birmingham? In this video, I hope to show you that there are pros and cons to both, and it's a little bit surprising. It's quite a bit surprising. It's a lot surprising. I was amazed at how much this cost. Anyway, in this video I'm going to go through the stuff at the show that we really enjoyed and found entertaining and what have you. It's going to be a voiceover, I'm afraid. I couldn't record there because of lots of live music being played and copyright strikes and things. But yeah, we did what we could do, and this is what we've got, and throughout the video I will tell you whether we're going to do it again and whether it was good value for money. Please bear in mind that cheap doesn't necessarily mean good value for money, and expensive doesn't mean bad value for money. It's whether we had a good time for that money is the bit that counts, the bit that's important. Anyway, welcome to Milan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Milan Bus Airport. The local time is 10:30. We kindly ask you to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Please keep your bus side up stowed away until the fasten seatbelt sign will be switched off. As long as we go for the opening the overhead compartments to avoid any objects falling out and causing injuries. There's my unit smoking is allowed only in designated smoking areas outside of the terminal building. Captain and the entire crew would like to thank you for choosing Wizz Air for today's flight. Wish you a pleasant stay in Milan and Lombardy, and for those of you on your return journey, we'd like to welcome you home. Thank you and have a nice day.
Keep that butt rubber side down.
Right then, first things first, let's compare prices of tickets for the actual shows themselves. So EICMA, the biggest show in the world, ticket price for that was £12 each and a £2.50 booking fee. We bought 2 tickets, 2 of us, so that was £26.50 including booking. Now the motorcycle live show up at the NEC is £23 each and a £2 booking fee, so that gives a grand total for that ticket if we'd gone there as £48. Right, now next up is accommodation. Now normally when we go to Motorcycle Live we'll go for 2 nights, so 3 days-ish if you include travel, and then we'll spend the middle day up at the bike show itself. So we need a hotel for 2 nights. Now last year up at Motorcycle Live we stayed at the Moxie Hotel, which is right at the NEC, and that was I think £150 per night, so 300 quid for the 2 nights. For EICMA this year, we stayed at the Fee Hotel in Milano, and that was £275 for the 2 nights. So slightly cheaper, but it wasn't on site. Right, now is where it gets a little bit complicated and convoluted. I'm coming up to the NEC Motorcycle Live show from down south. My mate is coming from up north, and different modes of transport and stuff like that. And the same for flying over to EICMA. What I'm going to do is only include my travel costs here until we get to EICMA, and also my travel costs here for the NEC, because yeah, it just adds complication otherwise. For me to go up to the NEC it's 150 miles each way, 300 mile round trip, which is roughly £80 in diesel in my transit van. Then I've got to park for the 3 days, and that's 10 quid a day at the hotel. It's a bit more if you park at the NEC, but why would you do that when you're at a hotel? So it's £110 for me to get to the NEC, and that's me there. I don't need any taxis or anything because the hotel is literally on the doors of the NEC there, so £110 there. To go to EICMA is a little bit different. We've got to fly. The flight cost is incredible. I'll talk about that in a second. But the other bits and bobs are we've got to get from the airport in Milan to the hotel. We've got to get from the hotel to the show, from the show back to the hotel, and from the hotel back to the airport, and then back in the aeroplane back to the UK. So what we did was we hired a car. That was 80 quid for 2 days. It wasn't quite the best plan. I reckon we should have done 3, which would have made it 120 quid. But that would have then saved us a lot of sitting around, which we'll cover in a bit. But what we would also have done differently, would have made sense, is if we'd actually driven to the show using that hire car. But because we like to have a beer at the shows, that's one of the things we do, that's not sensible, so we got an Uber there and back. The Uber there and back was £40, and yeah, the car hire was 80 quid all in, and we had to shove in a bit of diesel as well, or unleaded, to top up what we use, so that was another £15. So we've got a running total here so far of £135, but then we've got to factor in the flights. Now these were incredible. It was £11 for me to get to Milan from Gatwick. So 2 of us, 2 flights, going 2 ways, so £44 to get there and back for 2 of us. That's amazing. But with these costs, that makes that £180 thereabouts for the EICMA show versus £110 for the Motorcycle Live. Right, so running totals, we've got tickets, which was for Motorcycle Live is £48, EICMA is £26.50, accommodation for Motorcycle Live was £300 and EICMA £275. Travel was £110 for Motorcycle Live versus £180 for EICMA. This gives a running total of it all so far. Motorcycle Live is £460, EICMA £480. This is for 2 people. So if we halve that, we've got £230 for Motorcycle Live versus £240 for EICMA. Paying £10 to go to Italy. Otherwise it's pretty much exactly the same costs. So well, why are you all going to Motorcycle Live? You could go to EICMA for a tenner. It's not, but you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? Okay, but that doesn't mean this is all good value for money. It doesn't mean it's the perfect trip. It doesn't mean it's better. It doesn't mean it's worse. Right, let's cover that, shall we? Let's cover that. Right then, the showdown, the final. Why should you go here or there? Which one's better? Which one's worse? What way's up? What way's down? If you want to hang out with one of your mates for 2 nights and you want to poke motorcycles while drinking beer, what is better? MCM Motorcycle Live up at the NEC in Birmingham in the Midlands of the United Kingdom, or EICMA over in Milan in Italy? So which is best for you will all depend on what you are looking for a weekend or 2 nights away like we've done here. If you are wanting to see the latest greatest motorcycles, EICMA is the place to be. They have got so much there. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. It blew my mind, the bikes that we were able to sit on. You would normally up at the NEC only be able to look at them if they even had them there. But the EICMA show isn't perfect because of the logistics of where we stayed versus where the show was versus where we stay where the show is up at the NEC for Motorcycle Live. Motorcycle Live is better if you want simpleness, if you want to be able to drink beer, eat great food and hang out with a mate and not have any faffery on getting into the show. Yeah, Motorcycle Live is where it's at if you want to party. EICMA is where it's at if you want to look at motorcycles. EICMA didn't have everything there. There was no Triumph motocross bike, which I was really looking forward to. That was the main bike I wanted to see. But the Aprilia stand was fantastic, as was Moto Guzzi and Ducati. All of them, all of those stands that were there were incredible. There was no BMW though, so I didn't get to see the new GS or GSA, which was a shame. Not that I'm going to buy a BMW in my life in the near future, but it would have been nice to see the bikes. That's why we go to EICMA. Yes, we are going to work out if we can iron out those creases and do EICMA better in the future. But currently, from current experience, if you want to party, go to Motorcycle Live. If you want the best of motorcycles, go to EICMA. For £10 more, it is brilliant. But the food is not as good, not because you can't get great food in Italy. It's probably the nicest food in the world. I do love a good Italian food, but where we were and the showground, there just wasn't options there for us to make it convenient. Whereas at the NEC there are millions of places to eat, and they're all good fun, cheap food but tasty, fill your bellies. They sell beer and drinks and you can have a cracking time, great atmosphere, and there's loads of bars there too. So party time, go to the NEC, bike time, go to EICMA. I'm hoping the next time we do EICMA we will have streamlined it a bit, we'll have worked out our logistics, and we will have found places which have got some bars and some restaurants that we can go to for the evening, maybe a different hotel which has a better restaurant and bar, the Fee Hotel. Nothing against them, their staff were incredibly helpful, but the food there was pretty basic, and there was no atmosphere as far as the bar went. It was just not the same at all. Whereas the NEC is buzzing. It's buzzing in the evenings. It's a great night out. But we go to motorcycle shows to see motorbikes, and EICMA is the cream of the crop. It has all the shininess there that you could possibly want, apart from a couple that let us down by not turning up. But they didn't dampen the mood. I enjoyed absolute every minute of EICMA. I enjoyed the traipsing around, the sore feet. I enjoyed the fact that we just did it. We made it happen, and £11 to get to Milan. Fantastics. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this video. What I'm going to try and do is include all the clips I've got in this, so hopefully you'll have seen those. I am going to clip them down into something different for maybe some YouTube shorts or something like that, so keep an eye out for them. I don't know what's best for you. They're both best for me. We're going to carry on doing both, I think. Not every year. We'll do Motorcycle Live one year, EICMA the next, and I think that's a good way of doing it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button. If you like the video, give it a big old thumbs up. If you didn't, you can always give it a little thumbs down. I don't mind. I don't care at all. But please do drop in a comment if you went to EICMA, if you went to Motorcycle Live. Let me know what was your bike of which show. And yeah, you ride safe. Take care, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.
Gotta keep that bike rubber side down. You know, you gotta keep that bike rubber side down.